Film Review. I'm your host, Sarah Stephenson, and this is my co-host, Mike Stephenson.
Hi guys.
And so, what were we reviewing today, Mike?
Aha. Well, folks, guys, we did Alligator, the movie, the other day, which you've probably listened to by now. There was what they said was a sequel, isn't really a sequel, we'll get to that in a moment, called Alligator II The Mutation. That was done in 1991. Now, they said it was a sequel. It's not a sequel. It's pretty much a remake, rehash of the first movie. The storyline is very, very similar. They've changed the names of the people, obviously, and a few little things, but still basically the same movie. So, yes, it is not a sequel.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to treat this review as a standalone, not a sequel. So, we're going to try and evaluate it unbiasedly.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, viewers
It's a good movie.
or listeners,
It's a good movie.
that this movie is pretty good, and unlike the Psycho remake that we discussed a while back, this one is pretty.
It isn't too bad.
It's a better description of a remake when I look at it.
Yeah, but online they say it's a sequel. It's not a sequel. Yeah. So we're going to treat it like a standalone movie.
Yeah.
When we discuss it, pretty much the same as the other movie, but we'll talk about the actors and whatever. And
it just has its, I think the best way to put it is that the director probably allowed the actors to put their own spin on the characters, if you will.
Well, possibly, I don't know.
Like some actors would often tell you, go ahead, have fun with the acting role. Do not just do it like the previous person did.
Don't copy it. Make it more
Make it your own.
Yeah,
is what I'm saying.
Possibly. Anyway, irrespective, do you want to roll into telling the story a bit?
Yeah, why don't we start?
And the subtle differences.
Yeah, why don't we start off who stars in this
film? Oh, that's a very. I missed that part, didn't I? Okay, I'll go through. Okay, firstly, it was directed by John Hess.
John Hess,
and written by Kurt Allen. Now, cast. Joseph Bologna plays the main role, Detective David Hodges. He has a nice little wife in it, she's really pretty. Dee Wallace plays Christine Hodges. And we have Richard Lynch plays Hawkins, which is one of the good old boys from down south there, Florida, wherever he comes from. He's a gator hunter.
Yeah, no, he's actually.
He's an alligator hunter.
No, he is.
Hawkins. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. He's an alligator hunter, and his guys come up there to find the alligator and kill it. In the first movie, we had a lone, wonderful big game hunter guy, Henry Silver. He played in it, and he got eaten up by the alligator pretty quick. Very snappy, hey. And I won't go through all the other people.
What about
wait a minute.
Woody? What's his name?
Woody Woodpecker. No, Woody Brown.
Yeah, he plays another guy who sort of becomes another detective who is named Rich Harmon, who's a bit of a detective who's a psychic to our
that's
hero.
right. But he's not a main actor.
But he plays a lead role in this.
What was this the movie I was looking for the other day, and we found the guy out of Texas Chainsaw Massacre was on the guys? Or was that another movie?
That's another movie.
Another one, yeah. Okay. Anyway, do you take it away, Sarah?
And not to mention, let me see, Holly, what's her name?
Holly Gagnier
plays Shuri Anderson, who's the daughter, or pretends to be the daughter of the mayor, the mayor in their town.
She's playing the role, but she's a very attractive girl.
Yeah, she's very pretty. She wasn't
not a bad actress.
She was also in, I think, in Days of Our Lives in the 90s.
Oh, okay.
I mean the 80s. Sorry.
Whatever.
And,
with the 80s.
And one of the other movies she did was One Life to Live as another character. I
will considering we're talking about those guys, Steve Railsback plays The nasty guy.
Yeah.
We had Dean Jagger playing the nasty guy in the first movie.
Yes.
Rich
This-
guy.
yeah.
There's another rich guy
Yeah,
who's
he's
trying to exploit
Pretty
everybody.
much a snake in the
Well,
gra-
and he's an alligator in the grass, hey?
Well, snake is a better word for it, but he's got a snakish quality in this movie.
He comes over all slimy. He's really good. I like him.
Yeah. Comes off as a bit of a mobster.
Yeah, he's got that sort of mob feel about him.
Like every finger in every pie sort of thing.
And if you put your finger in his pie, I'll cut your fingers off. That sort of stuff. Yeah, he feels very mobby.
Very.
Yeah, like the mafia or something or other. But he's whatever. Name him like Vinny.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So our final two characters in this movie is what's his name? Brock
Peters is the police chief.
Who plays as Chief Speed. Don't know.
What, is he on speed? No, I shouldn't think so.
Who knows? Maybe the director was on Speed.
Somebody on something I wrote the script. No, sorry,
and
Kurt.
Our
sorry,
final
Kurt.
character, which only makes teeny weeny, minuscule appearance in this movie, is Trevor.
Eyster, I think it is.
Yeah,
Eyster,
he
right,
plays J.J. Hodges, which is a son to Dave
Oh, that's
Hodges.
right. He's little boy.
Yeah, we only see him once in this movie.
So
And
he's not really worth mentioning then, is he? The
No,
alligator
no,
gets more screen time.
I would have liked it if he made a little bit more effort in this role, but maybe there's a reason he couldn't do it.
It's past his bedtime, maybe.
Maybe he had another role on at the moment at the time.
He's so busy, hey. Now, will you get on telling the story?
Okay. So it starts off. We open on, let me see, Vincent Brown dumping future chemicals into the sewer. Unlike the previous one where a veterinarian was, a pet shop owner was dumping
Dead bodies of
dogs and cats,
which have been used for experimental
Yeah.
hormone therapy and everything.
Yeah. So they still had the same stuff they used last time, but as we said before, this is not a sequel, and there's no explanation to why they're dumping future chemicals in the
It's
sewer.
cheaper than taking them away somewhere.
Good point.
Shove it straight down the drain, goes to the sewage treatment plant and out to sea, wherever it goes.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
And we get a flash of, in the sewer, we see a few roaches getting eaten up by a giant crocodile. Or
Roaches?
or rats.
Rats, more like it, yeah.
Yes. Then,
Well, yeah, they're the hors d'oeuvres.
So then we fade in on David Hodges and his nice home life and all that stuff. And it's his birthday. His wife and his kid put together a nice video intro that says, "We wish you a happy birthday, and we wish you please quit smoking."
Something like that, yeah.
Because she.
Oh, wait, actually, we'll have to change something. I'll explain something here. His wife, he and his wife have a good relationship, but he appears to be on permanent night shift at the moment.
Yeah.
So he comes home in the morning, goes to bed, and then she wakes up and gets out of bed and goes to work and takes the kid to school. He wakes up in the afternoon, gets ready to go back to work. So, like ships in the night, most of this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The stuff you'd see in everyday life. So, anyway, David Hodges is a lot different from our previous detective I mentioned. He's more of a man of the people, a bit of film noir, like he respects the...
a bit of a dark hero, sort of, a bit rough around the edges. Yeah.
He understands the gangsters a little bit.
The street people,
The street people.
The street people, yeah, which is a lot of Latin American, wasn't it? Yeah, Latin American type people, yeah.
Yeah, and he doesn't like Vincent Brown because he's a
slime
ball, even though everyone was even fearful or scared of him because of what they're doing. Because Vincent has this plan of taking the residents' homes and selling them to other people.
No, he wants to bulldoze them and
Okay.
sell them off, rebuild it and sell all the properties off at an exorbitant price and make a killing.
Yes.
But just getting back to the detective, the Latino people refer to him as Solo Lobo,
meaning solo wolf
well,
or lone wolf.
Lone wolf almost, yeah. So yeah, and he works by himself a lot. So
Yeah.
So it's a nice, friendly name, isn't it?
Yeah, I certainly like in this one, he treats the other policemen as if they were,
Tools.
tools. Like, he makes jokes around them, like saying, I think there's one scene where he talks to a few of the local Mexican people, and he says to the policeman, "She's not questioning your She's not
It's not questioning your authority.
authority. She's questioning your
intelligence."
intelligence."
Yes.
It's a funny thing.
He does take the pee out of everybody. You know.
Well, only the police. He doesn't take.
Well, that's true. Yes, he
doesn't-
he takes a pee out of the police because he's one of them. Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, he then discovers that the bizarre disappearance of some guys who have gone fishing
in this big lake,
and they never came home.
Oh no! Guess who's coming to dinner, folks?
Yeah, and they found a few scraps left over from the alligator attack.
Yeah, no, the same. They had a what? They found a leg floating in the lake. Right? No, they found a boot floating in the lake, and there's a leg still in it. That sort of stuff. You know, yeah, really good.
Yes. Yeah, and then of course he takes it to his the police examiner, and he then takes it to Hodges' wife, who's a bit of a
some sort
scientist.
Or something, pathology, little scientist, something like that.
And they both confirm that this is an alligator's bite.
Chomp, chomp, chomp.
Yeah. So Hodges takes his lead to the mayor and Vincent, and they both laugh it off as if saying, "There's an alligator, ha ha ha."
A bit like in Ghostbusters. Same thing. Remember Ghostbusters?
Yes.
They said, "We got ghosts here." Oh, come on. No one believed them. Until all hell broke loose and all the ghosts got out of the little box. You know? Yeah.
True.
Yeah, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in this scene, Vincent at this time is organising sort of a theme park, not theme park. I mean,
What? You got a carnival?
a carnival lined up that in order
to help sell properties.
sell off the
Yeah, yeah.
properties.
You give some to the people and convince them to sign contracts to sell. You know,
Yes,
yeah.
sell, so to speak.
Money on. Well, we'll give
Yeah.
you money today.
Yeah,
That sort of
and
thing. Yeah.
Hodges tells them, "You must close down this thing to avoid them getting swallowed
Shoot
up."
up.
But Vincent ignores him and says, "Get him arrested." So he gets arrested by Richard, and of course, in this scene, Hodges kind of drags him to the toilet and gets him accidentally handcuffed to the
Yeah,
toilet.
he gets him in the cubicle there. He's like, "Look, unless you want to hold it, can you just let me go for a minute?" So he undid the handcuffs.
Yeah.
Now, I would have, if I was a young policeman, taken the handcuff off my own wrist and then locked it onto the cistern or the pipe behind the toilet. Now, he undid the cuff on, what's his hand?
Yeah, he says, "Take the keys."
Yeah, Hodges' wrist. And Hodges grabbed the end of it and locked on the toilet, and he walked out the door.
Yeah. Yeah. And anyway, in the next
he's a
scene,
dickhead.
he heads out the door and continues his investigation without the mayor's authority or permission. And soon enough, Sherry, what was her name?
Just the mayor's daughter.
The mayor's
okay?
daughter
Makes it
comes
easier.
to the hotel that this took place, and
She's a very nice, friendly girl.
and she's a nice girl, unlike the police who think that she'll treat them like diseases, like spoiled brat. And so she goes to her father, says that she knows Vincent is rubbing him the wrong way, and
manipulating him
and scaring him to bits.
Yeah, and pushing him in to make decisions that we wouldn't normally make.
So anyway,
and Dad's really a good man, but he got in too deep with Vinny.
Yeah, exactly.
Vinny Brown.
Yeah.
What a name.
Yeah, at one point, Vinny Brown made a pass at the mayor's daughter, and he says, "If you stick with me, I'll make you a woman." Ugh.
Yeah.
And she kind of belts.
She looked like a woman to me.
And she kind of belts him one with her fist.
Yeah, and he smiled.
Yeah.
She looks like a nice woman to me. She's very pretty.
Yeah.
All the curves in the right places, guys.
Yes. Anyway, the policemen then forget their priorities and forgot the man handcuffed to the toilet.
Yeah, well, yeah, and actually, she had to help, didn't
Yeah,
she?
and guess who caught the whole thing on camera?
She's in the cubicle undoing the handcuffs of this guy,
Yes.
this police officer. She's on her knees. It did actually make a good picture. And
Yeah. A reporter and a cameraman caught the whole thing.
yeah, and they put it up probably front page. Yeah, Mayor's
Or
daughter in the cubicle with policeman.
what was that?
Funny. Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, that's one thing about this movie that's a bit different to the first movie. This one's got a bit more humour in it. It's a very tongue-in-cheek, light-hearted. It's the same sort of movie, but they put extra humour in to make it funny, because otherwise it would have been a pretty dead script. But yeah, the humour, it keeps it going quite nicely.
True,
Yeah.
true. Yeah. So meanwhile, Vincent and Brown and the mayor, they contacted some nice alligator hunters to go sort out the alligator problem.
Yeah, some good old boys from down in Louisiana or something,
Yeah,
or
roughly.
Florida, where they came from. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but yeah, they had a bit of a southern drawl. It must be down in Louisiana or something. Must be one hell of a drive to get up there
True.
overnight.
So they allowed them to handle the alligator problem, even though they didn't know at this time this alligator is a lot bigger than their normal alligator.
And they think, oh, it's just about 6 of us here, just one little old gator. Well, wrong. It's about it's the same size as the first one, and something like what do you work out to be? Something like about 36 feet long or something. I think it was
Most
the
likely.
little alligator.
Yes.
Ah.
So meanwhile, dear old Richard is suspended from the police force, and he and the mayor's daughter start hitting it off.
Yeah, hey.
And of course, the chief finally does allow the detective David Hodges to go ahead and start your investigation. Yada
He
yada
had
yada.
the other guy along. He had to take harm and the other guy with him.
Realizing I don't want to work with Rookie. Yada yada yada.
And the rookie didn't want to work with him either.
Yeah, but soon enough he gets him sobered up, and after they.
Oh, he did. Well, he wasn't drunk. He's had a few drinks, but he wasn't drunk, but he wanted him sober because they go on gator hunting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he takes the mayor's daughter tags along too, and
Well, someone had to help out. Represent
true.
the mayor and whatever. And,
yeah. So both Hodges and Herman head off down into the sewer to do their alligator business, and eventually they do see it, and you guess what? It's huge, and they try to use small grenades to kill it, but it didn't work.
Didn't do a thing. Actually, unlike the first movie, when Harmer went down in when the detective went down in the sewer, his offside didn't get eaten this time.
Yeah, this time
Aha.
both of them become sort of a duo, like a working,
Batman and Robin.
or one of those
Or Laurel and Hardy.
those
no.
video game heroes team
Mario
duos.
Brothers.
No,
No,
not
so-
like
no,
that.
but-
Just like those gunfighter teams you see
okay,
in
yeah.
those video games. They were really cool.
No, Mario Brothers.
No,
Oh, well, they were in the sewers.
not the same
Oh,
thing I'm
no.
referring to.
Okay.
So anyway, they discover the alligator. They try to finish him off with hand grenades, but didn't work. They then head up to the surface and they tell their facts to his wife and the mayor's daughter, and the sheriff is there saying there's
who?
not to. The chief
Yeah,
was there,
you said
and
sheriff.
sheriff or chief.
He's
I'm
not
not
a
sure.
sheriff. He's a police chief.
Sorry, got it wrong. So anyway, they tell their findings, and they think, but the chief says that the alligator hunters will do what they have to do, and they know what they're doing, but they don't know what they're facing at this
Yeah,
point.
they had got no idea. It's the size of a bus, you know.
Yeah.
Again.
Well, I think Hodges says it was built. This alligator is built like a tank.
Yeah.
Yes.
And actually, you could probably fit a couple of tanks inside the alligator. It's a big alligator. Yeah.
Yes. So anyway, they head off to meet up with the mayor and Vincent, and they try to phone into the to the alligator hunters, and of course they run into the alligator itself, and they got the shock of their lives. And
He's a big bugger. Yeah.
and two of the alligator hunters get killed.
Chomp.
Of course, the Hawk survives, and along with his friend, I think they both survived.
Yeah, and he said he wasn't going to go home. He wanted to sort of see this through because he killed his friend and his brother and stuff. And
Yeah.
so hero job here. Yeah.
Yes.
So we say he works close with the police to try
Yeah,
solve
and
the problem.
yeah, and he even found when he was down there in the alligator's nest, he discovered the future chemicals
Yeah,
that
yeah.
Vincent
When Seraphi's
Herman
saying
was
Future
Brown
Chemical,
was
Future
dumping.
is the name of the company who actually is names on the big barrels down there. You would
Yeah.
think they would just pour the chemicals in there and throw the barrels away somewhere, but no.
No, you put
And
your
that's
name
like
on it.
saying, it's sort of like saying, I'm going to steal the car and going to park it somewhere and I'm going to leave my name and address inside so the police can find me. That's a bit stupid, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know it. So, Vincent, the chief was going to say they're going to cancel the park and to close it, and Vincent runs the chief's car off the road.
Very nice job too.
Yeah, like I said before, Vincent Brown is like a mafia bad guy.
Yeah, he
in
comes
this.
over like mafia. I mean, there's no mention of the mafia or anything else, but he comes over as that type. He's offside, a little henchman
Yeah,
type guy,
yeah.
a big lumpy guy.
Yeah, instead of going through the
yeah,
paperwork, he
yeah.
kind of shreds the paperwork and just drives right into it.
He just does what he likes. He may be a good politician, wouldn't he?
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, this is all mine, all mine,"
Yeah,
sort of thing.
Weirdo. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, the park goes ahead, and not many people are there, but he decides to make the treats and the prizes free.
Free, so you
So-
bring the people down, get free
Yeah.
food, free drinks, free carnival stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
And
Of course, the gangsters don't make it easy for them because they want to try to take, that's their turf, and they don't don't feel it's right that Vincent is trying to, try to get in on their own business.
stop them.
Yeah,
Stop them. Why do you say stop them?
stop them anyway.
That's a good way to.
Yeah,
Makes
Vincent.
it easier.
Yeah, Vincent Brown is not too thrilled about the gangsters that ruining his business or image, if that's the word. I think it's the image.
What are you talking about, gangsters?
Well, I meant
The street guys.
The street
are not
guys.
gangsters.
okay, they're not gangsters, but they're street guys.
They're
who,
street guys who it's their turf.
Yeah,
They
their
don't want
turf.
some guy like Vinnie Brown going in there and
Yeah.
trashing the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's their home. They're street guys. They're
Yes.
a gang.
Yeah, meaning they're
yeah.
a bit of a good gang,
They're
sort
a
of.
good gang, but a bit rough. They're not
Yes.
nice guys. But
Yeah. So anyway, Hodges and Hawk and the rookie police officer, they put together a small detonator bomb with a lot of DNT, whatever. TNT.
TNT.
TNT, and-
hey, by the way, gee, I think they did something like that in the first movie too.
Yeah.
Gee.
They did the same thing, and when they lower it into the pipe, guess what happens?
Oh,
Chomp,
Yeah.
alligator eats the bomb.
He eats the bomb and he breaks the detonator, so it can't be set off by the timer.
Yes.
Ah.
Yeah, soon enough, Christine arrives with a solution she made up to make the alligator either.
Or kill it,
Kill it.
or sedate it severely. But
Yeah.
but it was like a big hypo on a stick, which had to be jammed through the alligator skin. Now the alligator skin is so thick it wouldn't work. You have to do it on the underbelly, just behind the jaw, where
Yeah.
it's really soft. Who has to do this?
Aha.
Yeah,
Yeah,
old
and-
detective
Yeah,
Hodges.
of course,
Yeah.
Hodges asks his wife if this stuff will be able to set off the bomb inside the alligator.
And she's got no idea
She
what's
has
going
no
to do.
clue,
Yeah.
but she thinks that whatever they put together will most likely do its job. Hopefully,
And guess what?
yes, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
Yes. So anyway, Hodges and the others they then head back into the sewer, and meanwhile, Christine and the mayor's daughter they try to head to the park, try to evacuate anyone who will listen to them.
And no one's listening.
And of course, we find out the
well,
mayor
there you
has
go
been
then.
assassinated.
Yeah, it's funny. He gets there and says, "Your dad's been shot."
Yeah.
How
by
bad
who-
is it? Well, it can't get any worse than that. He's dead. You know.
Yeah, as it turns out, it was
Yeah.
Vincent Brown who shot him on a
Yeah.
Ferris wheel, and that's a little bit
Yeah.
weird because what about the
You would think someone would have seen it.
yeah,
Or heard it, or well.
yeah. Anyway, while all this is happening, the alligator is surfacing into the park area.
But he wants some fairy floss and stuff. You know, so he wants to come. He comes roaring through there.
And he starts
yeah.
attacking the customers, the people walking
Anybody
through.
who's there.
Yeah. And of course, everyone, Vincent Brown, he takes all the contracts and stuff.
Yeah,
and
all signed contracts on his jackets. Oh, I got these signed contracts. I'm happy
yes, I'm leaving.
for a few minutes anyway. And
Yes. Yes, and so his plans have failed to pot. In other words,
yeah, he meets up with the gang guys and the police and whatever, and a bit of an altercation there, and he gets knocked over the barricade handrail thing, and he falls into the water. And guess where Mr. Alligator is?
Yes,
You
he
guessed it,
falls-
folks.
He comes following him into the canal and gobbles him up.
Yeah. Would that give me a tummy upset being eating some bad meat?
Yeah, and you know what Hawk says in the scene? He says, "Damn, I didn't get paid."
Yeah, that's a good line.
I love that.
Yeah. It
course.
doesn't matter. Hawk dies anyway. It really
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
So anyway, Hawk and the Hodges and the rookie officer, they head into the boat and try to get the alligator. It's really dark, just so you know.
It's night time. Yeah.
Yes, making it a little harder to spot a scaly alligator.
Yeah, a big rubber alligator being dragged around in the lake, you know.
Yeah, so anyway, of course Hawk gets killed. Hodges tries to inject the stuff into the alligator, but it doesn't do anything.
So, he does eventually.
Yes, anyway, they then get rescued by this helicopter, and their only last chance of getting this alligator killed is by using some bazookas.
Yeah, rocket launcher bazooka type thing. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, then
They head into the sewer. They head back to the alligator's nest, and that's when they.
home sweet nest.
Yes, and this is where they set off their bazooka.
Well, yeah, the young
missile
guy,
things.
the young policeman, Harmon, who shoots his first, he hits him on the alligator on the outside, and it just goes bang and just annoyed him like a mosquito bite. Mm-hmm. And Hodges is there, and he gets him right down the throat and explodes on the inside.
Bam!
And unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever way you look at it, it sets off the dynamite, TNT or whatever, inside the alligator at the same time. So you got the bazooka doing its job and the TNT going off, and all you had was a lot of alligator skin rolling around, so you make handbags and shoes and everything.
Yes,
Yeah.
and of course when they ascend the sewer, the crowd is there cheering on.
Yay!
Yay! Of course, they keep saying David Hodges' nickname or Solo.
Lobo,
Yeah, even though he's no longer a lone wolf, he's more like a.
Still his nickname is Lobo. Yeah.
Yes. So he kind of meets up with Christine. His partner meets up with the mayor's daughter. They both give each other a cuddle.
Yeah, he's scoring points here, guys.
Yeah. And in the final shot, we see Hodges accepting a cigarette, and his wife says, "You earned it." All through this movie, he's
been trying to give up cigarettes.
He's trying to get a cigarette in, but everyone keeps telling him, "I thought you give up," or stuff.
Yeah, and he kept people taking them off him, throwing them away and everything. And he said, right at the end, he throws it away himself.
Yeah, he says he's tired of
all his chemicals.
And soon enough, the group of street guys, they demand the sign Vincent Brown
to be ripped down. Because
meaning,
Vincent wasn't around anymore. He wasn't going to honour his contracts, was he?
ooh,
Aha.
yeah, so he's dead, so long live the town.
The king is dead, long live the king, all right? No,
Whatever.
Yeah.
Although the mayor was killed, so that's kind of sad.
Well, we'll have to have a by-election.
Might
Yeah,
have
whatever,
to.
yeah.
But I gotta admit, the mayor, unlike the other movie, which depicted the mayor as a bit of a money-grubbing.
The other mayor was horrible. He was.
This one, he was a bit more sensitive about the public.
He thought about initially the development might be good for the community, and then he realised that Vinnie Brown was a real. Can I say arsewipe on the internet?
I guess you can.
Okay, he was a real arsewipe, and the mayor started saying, well, maybe I've backed the wrong horse here, and he said maybe he's having a change of heart. So he's really a nice guy who just got in too deep. So that's a little bit of a change in the storyline, isn't it?
Yeah, well, he backed the wrong horse in this case.
He certainly did. Yeah.
Yeah, he thought he was. I think in one scene he says, "I thought we were going to build something wonderful for the community."
Exactly
but
right. Yeah.
What they're doing is sort of like
destroying the community, and selling it back to the rich folk. Yeah. who
Yeah.
can really afford these $1 million properties and whatever that
yeah.
they're going to build. Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, throughout some of the scenes with the alligator, I should mention, they use some of the old
Well,
footage from.
have you finished telling the story now? Have you?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
we have finished telling the story. Now we're doing production.
Yeah, so throughout the movie, they used a lot of the old
Well,
alligator movie
well, they use some, yeah.
footage
Instead of
for this
redoing
movie.
it, because they, in both movies, they had to have some live action alligator and some pretend alligator and point of view alligator, and so they borrowed loosely, a few minutes here and there.
Well, it just meant that in this scene, the scene of the alligator stalking past the sewer tunnels supports and the
and where he
and the
goes,
shot of the
going into the lake.
the solver that they were using that was being looked at under a microscope was stock footage from
Oh,
the
pretty much.
original
Okay,
Alligator movie.
okay, yeah.
And
Well,
another scene I should mention was the shot of the alligator opening its left eye after hearing the hunters in the sewer, and the overhead shot as the entering the water to attack
so
Vincent
there's a few things
Brown
there, but
is also stock
but
footage
it's
from
say
that too.
redoing it, and whether it's stock footage or borrowed footage, it doesn't matter. It worked. It was okay. No one grumbled too much about it.
Well, as long as they can fix up it in post, then that's fine.
Oh, whatever. Anyway, it worked. It came together quite nicely as a standalone movie. Like I said before, it's been mentioned as a sequel. It's not a sequel. It's a standalone movie. Remake of the original.
Yeah, another thing I should mention: the producer Brandon Chase was originally gonna be the director for this film project, but he didn't want to do it. So John Hiss took on the role.
There you go then.
Well, he probably was too busy.
Well, there's not much to talk about this one, is there, really?
Yeah, and also there was 3 cast members that were in this appeared in the Halloween film franchise and all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
including the ones that are in Rob Zombie. I think that was Dean Wilson and Richard Lynch were in both Rob Zombie's, Halloween.
Oh, okay. Didn't know that. Oh, well, what a small world.
It is.
Yeah, great claim to fame, being in a Rob Zombie movie.
Yeah, I wish there was more stuff where I can think of trivia-wise about this movie.
Well,
but other
yeah, not much to talk about. It's just a basic little movie. It's a remake the original one.
and if you guys look at the title, as we said before, if just because it says 2 does not mean it's a remake.
Well,
it's not a sequel.
It's not a sequel. But it's been mentioned on the internet as a sequel. Not a sequel, yeah. It's a standalone, remake, rehash, whatever you want to call it, of the first movie.
Yeah, shame about that.
Yeah, some of the names being changed to protect the guilty. Yada yada. Yeah, it's okay. It's a good, fun movie.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking the directors or anybody or the film guy, the head of photography
I thought it
or
was
the
pretty
actors.
cool.
It's not a bad movie.
I certainly like the
Yeah.
humour in this movie.
Yeah, it
too.
had more humour, and I think that made it a bit better. It carried it a little bit better. If the humour was taken out, it would have been a slightly dead movie.
Yeah, I like David
yeah.
Hodges being a lone wolf in this movie.
Yeah, that guy. What I was talking about the other day when I saw this here, and I saw Joseph Bologna, I thought I know that name, and I went there. He's made quite a few movies and
quite.
stuff. So I think this would have been not necessarily his first movie, but he'd been in a few movies. But there was a movie called Transylvania 65000, which is a nice comedy, comedy horror thing. We're not going to review that one, but yeah, that was a good funny movie. I noticed, but so when you go on the internet, look up some of these actors and see what other movies they've been in. You'll be pleasantly surprised. Some of these guys have been in some really interesting movies you've never heard of.
True.
And I found this one. I've had a look at it. It's not bad.
True.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. So, do you want to rate this movie now?
I can't think of anything else I want to talk about. I can't think of anything. No,
not me.
No. Any product placement in there? No. No. Look. Okay. Yeah. We'll make this one a short one. Which sometimes we go overboard. But yeah, I would say honestly, it's a good, honest little movie. It's been done well.
Yeah, and if I haven't
Yeah.
seen the first one,
Yeah,
I
and-
probably would think this was what
Yeah.
this one remake is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Not showing. I know that, as I said before, we did a remake. We watched Psycho, the remake one, but I do think this remake makes this.
This is a good
It's a lot-
remake.
it's a good remake.
This is a good remake. So look, but because it's a remake, it's not really a fresh idea, and I'm not knocking the writer. Please don't get me wrong, but I will grade it down because it wasn't original. It was a copy of the first movie passed off as a sequel, which it wasn't. So I'm going to give it, say, 7.5. But that's because it wasn't original. Apart from that, if it was more original, I'd probably give it an 8.5 to 9. Yeah, but because it was a copy, 7.5.
I could probably rate this 8.5
Oh, you're nice, aren't you?
out of 10.
Warm and fluffy you are.
Yeah, so that's what I think anyway. So I'll let you guys decide on what you guys think of it too. I mean,
No, it's a good, fun movie. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, I've seen some really crappy movies out there. I mean, if they're on Friday, I wouldn't pee on them. You know, but
Hey,
yeah,
don't be rude.
no, I wouldn't. They're crappy. But this is I could watch this movie. It's entertaining. It's fun. Continuity's good. The acting's not bad.
the jokes are hilarious.
The little quickies, one-liners and little quips thrown in, it make the script interesting and playful. So yeah, it's good. It's a good fun watch.
Agreed.
So yeah, I'll say 7.5. Yeah, I wouldn't go because it's not original. But
Yes.
that's the only thing holding it back. Originality.
Yes. So that's about it for today and for this latest podcast. So thanks for listening. This is Sarah Stephenson
And Michael Stephenson.
saying
Goodbye.
bye.